Welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Coverage. Rich Walsh alongside Gene Collier. I mentioned Hornquist deal. I think this is a good deal for the Penguins, but Gene, it makes me wonder, is this like a Chris Kunitz deal? I mean, he's 30 years old, 5 years. I mean, is he going to be past, are they going to be paying him too much in 5 years? Essentially is what I'm trying to get to.
No, it's worth that gamble, though. I mean, he means so much to this team, particularly in front of the net, as everybody knows. And with his attitude, he's a very infectious personality. I think that if there's a risk, if there's a year when you have so-called dead money, I just think it's worth the risk with a player like this.
Yeah, the one thing that Hornquist did say today when he was talking to everyone is that he wanted 5 years. That was what he wanted, for security or whatever it might be, and the Penguins gave in. So I think that was the big sticking point.
I think they can afford it.
Yeah, I think so too. All right. Let's go out to the phone lines. We're going to go out to John out in Banksville. How you doing, John?
Hi, Rich. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for calling.
A couple of quick questions regarding the defense, which seems to be, if there's going to be a problem, that's going to be it. Although they played fairly decent tonight, that third goal was just horrendous that he gave up. It's a shame they couldn't come up with at least a point. But my questions are, I have two quick questions. Yesterday during the trading deadline, I heard a rumor people were posting that the Penguins were actually making an attempt to get Cole back. Is that true or not? And the second question is Ruedel. He's a decent defenseman, but what is wrong with this guy, and is there any talk about when, in fact, he may be coming back?
All right. Well, I know he's been in the locker room. I've seen him a few times. Thanks for calling. And to address the defensive situation, Mike Sullivan did say tonight after the game, he said, hey, there's 6 guys on the ice. So it's not all defense. You can point the finger at the goaltender, too. Alexiak could have maybe prevented the 1 goal. Hunwick has been bad, but he scored a goal tonight. And I don't think there's any truth to the rumor that they were trying to get Cole back because they didn't have enough room under the cap. Unless they had to move, unless they were going to try to finagle someone else like a Hunwick or something like that. But, yeah, I heard those too, but I don't think it was possible at all.
Yeah, no, I have no intelligence on that whatsoever. I think defensively the Penguins, a week ago we actually had too many defensemen in my view. Now with Cole gone, it's a little bit different, and you might want to try and find one here somewhere. But I don't see that as their major problem.
No, I don't either. And I think Cole's a big loss, but I know they have faith in Hunwick. Maybe he'll come around playing more. These guys got to get used to each other. But for the Penguins, if they're going to move on and if they're going to win in the postseason, they're going to win it with the offensive players. Look at what they have. 4 great centers. I mean, the best first-line center, the best second-line center, the best third-line center, and, probably the best fourth-line center, too. Yeah. I mean, they were really deep down the middle.
Right. And Mike Sullivan obviously likes to play defense with his offense, with a sustained forecheck. And, that's how they do it. That's what he calls playing the right way.
Penguins didn't play the right way today, but we'll see if they do coming up this week. All right, Mary, out in New Ken. How you doing, Mary? Mary in New Ken. You there? Mary. Okay, Mary's gone. We're going to go out to Nathan out in Punxsutawney. How you doing, Nathan? Nathan, you there? A lot of people.
I hear somebody.
They're probably listening to us on the phone. All right, Nathan. Sorry, buddy. Let's go out to, we're going to go out to Nolan out in Jefferson. How you doing, Nolan?
How's it going today?
Good. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, I just want to talk about, Connor Sheary's play tonight. Obviously Connor Sheary had a great season last year on the Sidney Crosby line. Is there any chance that all of this success is pure luck and we have a mediocre borderline AHL player who will never be as successful as he was last year, making $3 million per year on the Penguins?
Hey, thanks a lot, Nolan. I mean, you make a great point. Are we going to see the Connor Sheary from last year? He's been up and down the lineup, a scratch, maybe might. That's what they did in the postseason last year, you remember. They scratched him. He was a healthy scratch for a couple games. So I don't know. But they have a lot of guys that are similar, like him and Rust, that they can move up and down the lineup, and maybe it will spark some guys. But Yeah, I mean, obviously he played on the third line tonight with Brassard and Kessel, but he hasn't been the player that they thought he would be.
He's not a player that it ever occurred to me to describe the way the Collier has described him. I mean, he always just struck me as a player who gets hot and then gets cold and gets hot. I like him. I'm not disappointed in him in any way, and I don't view him as someone who's going to turn out to be a bust, if that's what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be a bust, but I think he potentially could be a third-line winger kind of guy. You know, looking at what they have right now.
That's no disgrace.
Yeah, it isn't. It isn't, but he did play well, and he did have some chemistry with Sidney. And maybe when he does get hot, that's where you move him back up there with Gensel. So, all right, let's go back out to the phone lines. Now Mary's back out there. Mary, you there? Maybe. Mary. Okay, Mary. Is that you, Mary?
Rich, how are you? This is Mark from
Mark.
Squirrel Hill.
Okay, we got Mark. No Mary, but we got Mark. Thanks.
All right, I'll take the silver medal.
Okay.
The reason I'm calling, Rich and Jane, explain something to me if you can. Everybody's talking about sports talk radio and on shows like yours that the coach of Pitt has to go because attendance, they can't survive like that. For the first 40 years of history of the Steeler organization, when they had 7 winning seasons, nobody went to the games up until the early 70s when they started to win. The Penguins were last in NHL in attendance before the ping pong balls start coming up. And the Pirate attendance for 20 years until just a handful of years ago was brutal. Were those coaches ever relieved because of attendance? And Pittsburgh always supports the teams when they win, Rich. But look what happens when they're not winning. It's a history of Pittsburgh sports. What do you think about that?
Hey, Mark, great call. I think the climate has changed a lot, Gene, since those days. There was no social media. Not everyone could voice their opinions. There was only local news and newspapers. And I think the climate has changed and more people can see how frustrated other people are. And I think it becomes a trend where they don't go. Maybe I think the best thing that Pitt has to figure out is this guy the right fit? I haven't seen anything, and you know where I stand on this. I haven't seen any progress with this team since the start of ACC play.
No, and I agree with 90% of what the caller said. I mean, this is generally the way Pittsburgh reacts. I mean, they don't support teams until they win, and then they might support teams. With the Penguins with 500 consecutive sellouts or something.
Yeah.
Also with back-to-back Stanley Cup wins, and they're always in the playoffs. But as to what poor attendance triggers, that's really on a case-by-case basis. The Steelers were able to survive for 40 years without drawing many people because the whole NFL wasn't really drawing anybody. So you have to have all kinds of correct historical context on each of those teams. But generally, with what you said, I agree.
Yeah, and Gene, I think Pitt could survive going another year, 2 years with attendance issues if they decide to give Stallings a shot. I don't know if they will. I don't know if there's pressure on Heather Lyke to make a change. I don't know. I just don't. I don't feel it's the right fit, and you can kind of see the way this team's playing or not playing, and the fact that they just keep getting blown out. Figure out a way not to get blown out.
Well, I mean, they have made some staggeringly bad efforts and halves and statistics. 1 field goal and a half against the other day, and 2 field goals and a half. I mean, that is barely college basketball. That's high school basketball.
Yeah, the record
bad high school
for
basketball.
least amount of points scored in a half is 5. They had 7. That is just. We knew Pitt basketball was going to be bad, but they are at a level that is beyond the bad. Yeah. That's where I think
they not only have freshmen, they have bad freshmen.
Yeah, and I think that's where it's becoming an issue. All right, we're going to take a break. Back with more phone calls and some tweets coming up next. Stay right there.